So I don't know exactly the truth here. There is now new FBI notes that detail the effort to catch Flynn in a lie to, quote, get him fired as a Trump advisor. Senior FBI, I'm just going to give you the story. Senior FBI officials' handwritten notes from the earliest days of the Trump administration expressed concern that the Bureau might be playing games with the counterintelligence interview of the then National Security Advisor Michael Flynn to get him to lie so, quote, we could prosecute him or get him fired, end quote. The notes and other emails were provided by Flynn's lawyers under seal last week and released Wednesday night by court order, providing the most damning evidence to date of potential politicization and misconduct inside the FBI during the Russia probe. The notes show FBI officials discussed not providing Flynn a Miranda-like warning before his January 2017 interview, a practice normally followed in such interviews, so that he could be charged with a crime if he misled the agents. I mean, where are the civil libertarians? Where is anyone saying, wait a minute, hold it just a second? When you go in and you're like, let's not read him the Miranda rights so he forgets about all of that stuff. Isn't that why we have the Miranda rights? So we don't pick people up that we think are guilty and then trap them. This is unbelievable. So the note said, what's our goal here? Truth, admission, or to get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired? Now, that's the problem I have. The last few words. Or get him fired. Okay, well, hang on just a second. Is that the job of the FBI? Is that the job of the police to get somebody fired? That's the problem. Not whether or not they were trying to get him to lie. I mean, I think that happens usually. Let's get him. Look, if he won't admit it, if we can prove that he's lying on something else, we can get him on that. I mean, it's kind of like Al Capone, going to jail for tax evasion. Yeah, you didn't get him for the murder and the mayhem. Yeah, but you got him for tax evasion. All right, he's in jail. So that kind of happens all the time. But this doesn't. Or get him fired. Why would the FBI be interested in getting him fired? Now, here's the problem. Half of the press is saying, see? The other half of the press is saying, there's nothing there. I don't know what's true. Because there's not anybody who is oh my gosh, am I going to say it? Authoritative voice. Who are the people that can actually look into this and you can trust? I know now I've got to go back and get my research team on it, talk to 1 million people, all the stuff we used to be able to say, well, look, New York Times, Washington Post, somebody will have, an authoritative final look at this, and they'll look at all sides. No, nobody does that. Nobody does that. Too many people on the right are not doing that either. I mean, the problem with this is it's not about Flynn. It's about the FBI. Flynn could be guilty of sin. I don't know. But this is about the FBI. Was the FBI used as a political machine, as a weapon? That's what has to be decided. Look, the civil rights movement, it happened not just because of Martin Luther King, but because of Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy was there to make sure that justice was done, that they weren't just railroading people because they knew them blacks were trouble. That's what this is about. Can we trust the law enforcement agencies? If we can't trust the FBI, you don't have a country. If you can't, look, what is it from the Declaration of Independence? Governments are established among men to protect these rights. When you have a government agency, the law enforcement agency, violating rights, becoming a political arm, you're back to a king. You're back to a king. It depends on who's running it. It depends on not only who's running it, but who's in it. So it doesn't need to be Barack Obama. Barack Obama changed and added so many people in the intelligence community and in the law enforcement community, added so many layers of fat, and we know this from their own documents, that it could run itself no matter who the president is. That's the fat that needs to be cut out. All of the political crap. We must know the truth. And there is no one. In fact, we've crossed the Rubicon. I've been warning about this for a very long time. I said the government, the media, and tech are all going to need each other. Okay? Tech has information on everyone and is the new strong arm. So the government knows it can't screw with tech. It can't screw with tech. They have too much information and too much power. And there are too many people in Washington that want that power. So they will offer to help them with their business. We'll help you. We'll protect you. Can you protect us a little bit? Because people are going to start rising up against the government and they'll need information. They'll need to be able to quash things. Okay? They'll never get rid of that bed that's being made. It's poison to the republic. But there's also another group of people that are collapsing. And this is a very strong arm for anybody who has authoritarian bent, and that is the news media. It's collapsing. They know it. It should collapse. It's outdated. It doesn't work. It was the system we're running on right now of networks was put together in the 1920s and 30s and then made more powerful with television, then made more powerful with cable. Internet destroys all of that. Internet, where you have a voice, you can be heard. It destroys all of it. Well, now they're sitting with these huge expenses and the buildings and the networks and the, hey, come on here, toots, let me look at your ass for a minute to see if you can sit behind the camera. Excuse me? All of that is over. All of that is over because of the freedom that the internet gives. Joe Rogan. Look at Joe Rogan. The media 2 years ago had no idea why Elon Musk all of a sudden was trending everywhere. Why the stock of Tesla took a nosedive. They had no idea because they didn't follow Joe Rogan. Because, well, he's not an authoritative voice. Well, you know what? Yes, he is, to millions of Americans. But he's just a guy. Well, there's a few of us that actually do our homework. And we're having to do more and more homework because the mainstream media is doing less and less. But now the mainstream media has got in with tech and the government, and now the mainstream media, which has always been a tool for the left, Google is just filled with people from the left and filled with people from Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton's office, all of those people. They know how important it is to have authoritative news sources like CNN that we can rely on. To do what? To tell you the truth or help you get elected? So they're now merging. And Google, YouTube, which was the voice of people, for the very first time in all of human history, anyone could be heard. Anyone could become a star. Anyone who had an opinion. It's bad. You know why? Because freedom is ugly. Freedom is messy. Freedom doesn't always go your way. A lot of people do stuff that you don't like. Get over it. Use your brain to figure out. Use your brain to do some research. Oh, a guy's got a microphone and a camera in his basement. Well, I better believe everything he says, because I like him. There's no difference between that and, Chris Cuomo. He's got a camera and a network, and I like him. And he's in his basement as well. There's no difference. One just has millions of dollars to make it look beautiful and millions of dollars in marketing. You shouldn't trust anyone, but none of us should be trusting the government. The media was supposed to be outside of the government. The media was supposed to be our defender. It was the fourth branch. Was it the fourth branch? We're the fifth, right, Stu? Try to remember. Fourth branch of government. They're supposed to be outside, just like the Congress and the Senate, check and balance. Congress together, check and balance the administration. Fifth branch. And then you have the Supreme Court. So you have the three branches of government as designed by the Constitution. Then there's another branch on that tree that checks all of those guys, and that's press. And then there's another branch on that tree, and that's us. Well, we're down to us, guys. We're down to us. And here's the problem. We have now grown accustomed to this thing called freedom, where my audience, listen to this, I don't know if you can relate to it. I've been doing this for 40-some years. It took me a lot of hard work to gain an audience, to gain a platform. I've got 16-year-old kids now who have a platform and a voice. They didn't have to do anything that I did. Hooray for America. Hooray for freedom. My audience has an audience. You have an audience. That's insane. That's never happened before, but it's being shut down. I'm going to get in later on the program what's happening with YouTube. They're officially launching a new panel to make sure that everything that is said on YouTube, a platform where somebody got famous for taking a bath in SpaghettiOs, they're going to have some fact checkers now, and they're going to go to those authoritative voices like CNN and ABC. It's never been more important right now for you to do your own homework. You to find multiple voices that you rely on. It is now more important than ever that we don't lose touch. I don't know what happens to local radio. God help local radio. Please, when you hear a commercial on the station, if you happen to be listening to us on local radio, when you hear that sponsor, please frequent it if they are selling something that you want. Local radio is the closest to you. The next closest, and actually this is the first closest, but this is the most dangerous one because it can be cut off at any time, is the internet. That's the closest to you, but I can guarantee you right now, if you subscribe to anything of mine on YouTube or Facebook or anything, you're not getting half of what I put out. We are being so throttled right now. You're not getting half of what we put out. And that is only going to get worse with not just me, but anyone like me. I would ask that you would subscribe to blazetv.com. While we have this $30 off, I don't know how much longer this is going to last. When we all go back to work, I think this is going to go away. But I would so urge you, if you have $70, not if it's your last $70, but if you have $70, cancel something else. But don't lose touch with me. Or if it's not me, good. Go to Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire. Go to whatever it is. Do it directly and don't lose touch. Don't let any middleman in between. This is the time that I've been talking about for how long? 20 years? This is the critical time. This is the time I created the Blaze for. I told you when I left Fox, I don't want anything between us. I don't want advertisers between us. I don't want Google between us, YouTube between us, one-on-one. This is the time. Don't lose touch with the people you trust. because there is a concerted effort, and I'll show you this coming up, and we are headed for dangerous times. But I haven't finished yet on the mainstream media because I don't know the truth, and their viewers and their readers have to be so confused by Joe Biden. They don't have any idea what they're talking about, and yet they're all positioning themselves as the champion of the Me Too movement. Yeah, we've been on this thing for a long time. Yeah, and it's time that he answers. Really? Really? Really?